Kenya, land of the proud Maasai, weeps. Her leader, William Ruto, has turned his back on his people. He embraces the cold embrace of the IMF, a serpent offering poisoned fruit. Dollars promised, chains delivered, the West with honeyed words, whispers of progress and prosperity. But their promises are hollow, their smiles are masks. They seek only to bleed Africa dry, as they have always done. President Ruto, I am blinded by greed, ignoring the plight of my people. I forget the sacrifices of our forefathers who fought for our freedom. I forget that true wealth lies not in foreign coffers, but in the heart of a united nation. I've become a puppet, dancing to the tune of my Western masters. His eyes are closed to the suffering he inflicts. The cost of living skyrockets, fueled by the IMF's austerity measures. Food becomes a luxury, education a distant dream. Our hospitals overflow with the sick, while Ruto dines with his Western patrons. Is this the legacy he wishes to leave behind? A nation divided, impoverished, and enslaved once more? The spirits of our ancestors cry out in anguish. They warn of the darkness that awaits us if we do not change course. From the Serpent's Pact, a venomous seed was planted, the Finance Bill. This bill, a monstrous beast, promised only pain. Taxes upon taxes, crushing the life out of the common man. The price of fuel, the lifeblood of our nation, soared. Food became scarce, hunger gnawed at the bellies of our children. Ruto, deaf to the cries of his people, pushed forward. He claimed it was necessary, a bitter pill for a brighter future. But the people knew the truth. This was not a cure, but a poison. This was not sacrifice, but exploitation. This was the West, tightening its grip on Kenya's throat. Kenyan protest at the streets, once vibrant with life, grew tense. Anger simmered, threatening to boil over. Protests erupted, met with brutal force. Tear gas choked the air, batons met flesh. Still, we refused to be silenced. We had tasted freedom, and we would not surrender it so easily. The Finance Bill was just the beginning. It was a test, a way for the West to gauge our resolve. They wished to see how much pain we would endure, how much we would sacrifice at their altar. But they underestimated the spirit of the Kenyan people. We would not be broken, we would fight back. Behind Ruto, a shadowy figure lurks. Meg Whitman, the US ambassador, whispers in his ear. Her voice is smooth, her words carefully chosen. But behind her smile, a predator lies in wait. She speaks of partnership, of shared goals. Yet her eyes betray her true intentions, control. She is the architect of this chaos, the puppet master pulling Ruto's strings. With every word, she binds him tighter to the West's agenda. US ambassador, I promise him power, wealth, a place among the world's elite. But it is a fool's bargain. He'll be remembered not as a leader, but as a traitor. The stench of colonialism hangs heavy in the air. The West, in its arrogance, believes it knows what is best for Africa. They send their ambassadors, their NGOs, their experts to dispense their wisdom. But their solutions are always the same. More control, more exploitation, more profit for themselves. Ruto, blinded by ambition and false promises, fails to see the trap he has walked into. He has become a pawn in their game, a tool to be used and discarded. He has forgotten the lessons of our past, the centuries of struggle against colonial rule. He has forgotten that true freedom comes not from aligning with the powerful, but from empowering your own people. The anger of the people, long suppressed, has finally erupted. The streets of Nairobi burn with righteous fury. The symbols of power, once untouchable, are now engulfed in flames. Parliament, where the people's voices were ignored, is reduced to ashes. The governor's office, a den of corruption, is consumed by fire. This is not mindless violence, but a desperate cry for justice. The people have taken to the streets because they have no other recourse. Kenyan protester, our voices have been silenced, our pleas ignored. We have been pushed to the brink, and now we are fighting back the only way we know how. The air is thick with smoke and the sound of gunfire. The police, armed with weapons provided by their Western benefactors, fire on their own people, but still the protests continue. The people are no longer afraid. They have nothing left to lose. This is the price of Ruto's betrayal. This is the consequence of his alliance with the West. He has sown the wind, and now he reaps the whirlwind. Kenya, once a beacon of hope for Africa, is now consumed by chaos and violence.